Let us continue with the disassembly of this Autel Evo. As you can see, the gimbal is out. Today I want to remove this defective arm. So first I'm going to unscrew these two hex screws and see what's inside. Okay, so let me show you what is hidden beneath here. No screws of any kind, just a couple joints. So my best guess is, and I'm gonna do this very carefully and hopefully I'm not gonna break it, but again, I got this Evo for free, so it allows me to experiment on it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this hex screw and I'm going to try to hammer out this pin. So hopefully it's gonna disconnect this arm. Wish me luck. It came out. This is actually exactly what it looks like. Here's what it looks like on the inside. As you can see, it's probably a little glued on the other side and right below the hinge, so it's not gonna come out easy, but here's the result. I can take out the arm. Oh yeah, and this thing is spring loaded, so be very careful when taking it out. As you can see, the arm is out. I don't have the soldering iron yet because my car is busted, so I have to wait until that gets fixed first. But here's how it looks on the inside, on the Evo 1. I just watched the thing for the Evo 2. That looks more difficult to do with. So what I'm gonna do first, this silicone right here, I'm gonna use very carefully. I'm gonna use a blade and I'm gonna cut in between the soldering joints right here on both, like all of these 6 wires, and I can clearly see it's marked on the backside: black, yellow, red. Same thing probably here, but it's a good thing to remember how the wires are soldered on, so you don't make that mistake when you don't make a mistake when soldering back new leg on. But you know, that's out. That's the hard part. I think putting it back in will be even harder because again, this thing is spring loaded, so I'll have to deal with that later. That's going on my little parts thing. I almost exploded this battery accidentally again because I tried to connect directly to, and I first connected to the ground wire, and as soon as I connected this thing from my little USB charger to the ground wire, it just sparked. Did not touch anything else. I think I might have just a little nicked the board, but still shouldn't have sparked. But hey, you know, this still blinks, so I didn't destroy it completely, but experiments with the batteries continue. So this is end of part 1. I'm just gonna clean this up and show you the result in a moment. But as soon as I get the soldering tool, I will completely remove this arm. And I'm sure there also has to be an antenna wire that's coming off of this arm, and that probably goes beneath this board, so adventures are not over. But we're gonna do it one step at a time. There is no need to rush because my other the parts that I ordered will not be here anytime soon. So yeah, one step at a time right now. Next step is removing the silicone. This is one thing I like and don't like about Autel. You know that this is like really, really good on there. The problem is it's really, really good on there. DJI does not have the silicone, so it's easier to desolder and then solder back on. This will be an extra pain in the behind. So yeah, update. And I'm gonna zoom in right here to show you. Okay, so I removed the silicone from these 3 main power wires. You can see clearly, and they are labeled. So it says right beneath them, like black, yellow, and red. That's no big deal. Right here, I removed the silicone from the light wires and accidentally damaged the red wire a little bit, but it's okay since I'm gonna desolder it anyway. That's just the first one I'm gonna desolder. And right here is the antenna wire that goes all the way down there. So what I'm gonna do now is flip this bird over carefully, remove the back panel, find where that antenna wire is disconnected, connected, and disconnect it. Stay tuned. To remove the bottom panel, I've done this before. You just need to remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hex screws, and keep in mind it's glued down there, so you really have to put some force into it to get it to remove. The bottom panel is off, and let me show you, like, you see it was damaged in the fall, but the replacement panel costs about 50 bucks. So I might actually just clean it up and repaint it, maybe even a different color. May do the same with the top cover and see what comes out of it. So let me show you the what it looks like from down below. Well, first I need to remember which antenna I need to disconnect. So it goes along this side. And the reason I'm not disconnecting the GPS module, again, that silicone on there, I don't want to disconnect anything unless I really have to. So the antenna is connected right here, 2.4 gigs. Oh, it even says that on there. That's kind of cool. That one says the same thing, 2.4 gigs. So I'm going to disconnect the antenna right now for the arm, and just have to remember to connect the new antenna once I get there. Oh, and here's the difference, like, you see the bottom arms? These actually have hex screws on there. So these are also easily removed and exchanged. So we'll try fixing this one first, and then work with different Evo, because I have one Evo where the back arm is busted. So maybe do that one too. The antenna is disconnected, but as you can see, I ran into a problem feeding it through this board. I'm gonna try to feed it. If not, this actually motherboard or main core might have to be removed in order to disconnect the antenna, or remove the antenna. I hope that's not the case, but that may be the case. Unfortunately, it is the case. I have to disconnect this top part of the main core right here. So it has 6 hex screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I'm afraid that if I don't do it this way, I will probably crack one of the boards. I did remove the GPS module and cleaned the silicone off the connectors here the best I could. So we'll set it aside right next to the camera module, and taking apart continues. Okay, real pain in the behind. So I had to remove this top panel. As you can see, it's connected to all 4 arms, and I also had to disconnect this connector right here. I'll have to clean that thing from silicone, because that connects 2 parts of the motherboard together. And now, if you look beneath here, there is another fan and a ton of screws that I have to somehow remove in order to get access to the motherboard, just so I can nudge it a few, like maybe a millimeter, in order to remove that antenna. So yeah, wish me luck. The antenna is out. It's a success. I did not have to remove all those screws holding the main board in place. I just had to loosen the 2 screws by the bottom fan, and that nudged the motherboard the 1 millimeter that I needed in order to get the antenna out. I am not gonna put any of this stuff back together until the new arm is in, and until the new arm is in, because I can put the gimbal in without the arm. Right now I'm just gonna clean this up from the silicone so that connector will reconnect easier. But that's it for today. As you can see, my face is red, I'm sweaty. It's very difficult, but I had one of my clients call, so he didn't even know I flew quads. He's my client by the other business, so he's like, oh dude, I was just like last week looking somebody to record my property on a quad, on a drone. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, no problem. So he's very happy. But yeah, that's lesson number 2. Make sure everybody you know knows that you're flying drones, because that can turn into gigs. Right now, I'm gonna leave this mess the way it is. Not gonna clean anything up. I contacted Autel Evo, asked them about the gimbal, if I can send it in and have it repaired. The battery's done. Maybe I will disconnect it. It actually ended up being a little bit bloated, so I may throw it away. I may disconnect the motherboard and see if I can do a double battery, make a double battery for the Autel Evo, but that's in the future. I'm not going to do anything right now with it. Maybe I'll be able to charge it a little bit later once my triple charger, multiple charger gets here. So we'll see what will happen. That's why I always say, you know, subscribe to the channel. We're all a part of the drone community. I fly DJI and Autel, so I got all those. Thank you guys for watching. I'm tired, I'm beat. I'll see you guys later.